Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this accordion card. It opens like this. This is how it would look from the top, but this is the front of it. Lots of bling, lots of die cutting. It's quite easy. There's a lot of steps, but they're not very complicated ones. So let's pop that off to one side and let's get started. So it takes a piece of Night of Navy and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. That's a nice, easy, fits in a standard envelope sized card base. Let me find my bone folder and give that a good press. Next, we need to bring in this lovely die. It's one of the online exclusives and it's Snowflake Kisses. And I used this die and cut out this piece, and then if you put the circle in the middle, this is what you get. So these are the two pieces that I have to make the front of the card. I then used this lovely multi die, and you will see this was the small one. There's all different sizes. I just cut them out of the lovely glimmer paper. So let me get this attached to the front. There are some bits of advice, there's some orders that it's better to do things in. Because this is attached, it doesn't go all the way out, so it doesn't necessarily lie flat. But like we've said in previous videos, nobody opens a card to make it lie fully down. They tend to just sort of do that with it, or display the front or however. So in order to get things to fit nicely, we need to do it while it's a bit more flexible before the accordion part goes on the inside. So I'm just going to bring in my silicone mat, and then I am going to use the rolling adhesive on the sides because they're quite chunky and they can hold that. So a little bit on the top and the bottom, and then all I'm going to do is use the liquid glue, and I'm just going to put dots where thicker parts are. You don't have to glue the whole thing down. It's just, not necessary. You also don't have to try and glue yourself to the mono adhesive I've just laid down either, Alyson, but we'll not go there, will we? So just where there are bigger pieces, where you feel it may lift up, like that little dot for sure might do that, but where there's a chunky enough piece to withstand it, put a few dots of glue. And then I am going to put this on the front. So this was cut out of a piece of basic white, which is the same size as the front of the card. So it's the full 5.5 by 4 1/4. And we can get that into place. And then while that's drying, I can go ahead and show you how I made the middle part. And the middle is just two pieces of basic white, and they are the 1/4 inch layered size, so they're 4 by 5 1/4. And then I am going to stamp them with a really old set. I just wanted it, my background paper is having a little walk away. I wanted it to have a little bit of something, and this has got itty bitty backgrounds for the shape. It's just dots. I'm sure we've all got a stamp set that's got a little bit of snow effect, dot effect, that kind of thing. So what I had done, these were old wood mounted stamps, and I took them off and they're now in a little CD case. And I added cling to them, and this is how it looks. So here's the stamp. There's a piece of cling on the back of it, and now it just goes on the acrylic block like a polymer stamp. And I'm going to bring in the pool party, and I'm just going to add snowflakes across. So just quickly add some sort of really light, quick and easy background, so it wasn't just plain white on the inside. So there's one. like I say, most people have got some form or other of dots or texture that you can add to your background. So close the ink and we'll go ahead and move the scratch and get those attached to the inside. And again, I'm doing that. I'm doing all the flat stuff. The last step really needs to be adding the accordions, because everything else is done while either the card is flat or even the accordions themselves are flat. So we'll pop that into place with the equal border around. And now it's got a little bit of something. So there we go. I can see I just missed that by what, like a 1/32. I'm not going to worry about it. So now let's get started making the accordion pieces. So they are, see if I can get it to sort of lie a little bit open. It is a piece of designer series paper. I have already stuck some of the lettering on because there's quite a lot of them on the inside. And rather than me watch me stick lots, well, there's 5, 9 little things and all the snowflakes, you'll get the idea and you'll get the gist as I go along. So this is 8 1/4 by 1 3/8. And then we scored it in half at 4 1/8. And then because it's 1 3/8, we scored it at 1 3/8 and 2 1/4, and that makes equal little 1 3/8 squares. So there is, and we're just going to fold them backwards and forwards on themselves. Actually, it's the other way, but you know, it will become apparent when it goes inside. And then the other one, there are 2 strips the same. So I've already attached the little snow, which I got, by the way, out of this lovely little mini alphabet dies. They've got all the letters, mostly 2 of, which was great because I needed 2 S's and, well, I needed 6 T's, but you get the gist. So these were the letters that I cut out of Night of Navy cardstock, and there are just a couple left. So I'm going to bring those in just so you can see the wonder of gluing them into place. But like I say, you don't want to sit and watch me do all of them. So I'm just going to put little bits of glue on the back. So we've got let, then a space, and then it. So luckily there are 6 sections. So I was able to put a 3 and a 2 with a space in the middle, and then 4 with 2 spaces at the ends. And then what I have is one little dot of a snowflake. Oops, that's a bit too much. That can go there just to separate the words. So those are the pieces that will be ready to go in the inside once we've finished decorating the outside. So I did take the glimmer paper, which came from Peaceful Garden glimmer paper, and I cut a banner using the stylus shapes. So it has a nice chevron to equal edge. I mean, it has the stitched edging, but of course you can't see that because it's glitter paper. But it's not long enough to reach over, so we are going to simply cut it in half. And then the circle, which came out of, I don't know where I put the die now, the circle that I punched, we are going to stamp. I'm going to use the lovely traditional labels, and I've done a video, I did one of the Christmassy videos a while back. So it's going to say merry and bright, but I'm going to do it in the 2 colors. So I'm going to do the and bright at the bottom, And I'm going to do that Night of Navy, and I'm going to use one of the little spots because I like to show that they are just as effective as a big pad, and that's what you get in the paper pumpkin kits quite often. So there's the And Bright, so that's that one done. And then I'm going to bring back in the Pool Party, and I'm going to add the Merry just above it. Just make sure, you can't really see it's inked up that strongly. It is, but I just like to be sure. And then last but not least, I had one of the little shapes. This die gives a big, a medium and two smalls. So I kept one of the little smalls when I was cutting all of the other sizes, and I'm just going to attach that with a little glue dot. Well, a little bit of glue. Glue dots or something else, aren't they? So we'll pop that in there. We'll pop the little snowflake onto it, and then it just adds a little bit of bling to the proceedings. So that's everything stamped. Let me just get the words cleaned up, and then I'll bring back in the card. So it's still the naked card, it's just got the insides and the front so far. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to just put adhesive on the two pieces of the glimmer paper, and I'm going to run them from the edge of the fat part on both sides, and then of course leaving the hole in the middle, because this little circle is going to go on there and no one is going to be any the wiser. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the mini dimensionals, and if I put one at each corner on these pieces, I know that's not going to be seen because that's the whole point of adding this. Well, it's not the whole point of adding the circle, but that's where we're going to add the circle, and we knew it was safe enough to cut that out. I mean, we want the greeting. It's not like we're just shoving it there so we don't have a hole in the glimmer paper. And then when you put that into place, it looks like that piece is whole and you can't actually see down in there. Just when I did this with the Christmassy colours, I wasn't sure whether to use red or green or red and green. So what I had done back then was I had made various versions of it just on a little piece of computer paper to see how it would go. So just as an FYI, that's what it would look like if you had stamped it all with the Night of Navy. That's what it would look like if you stamped it just with the Pool Party. And this is how it looks when you've stamped it one of each, because that greeting is two separate stamps, which is rather fun. And now for the assembling part. So we just need to make sure that we have got them all folded the right way. And we've got all the lovely little letters and the snowflakes on. And then what we're going to do is we are going to attach this corner to this corner on the basic white cardstock. So I just need to put some adhesive on there and on the other side. So we're putting it on the two outside squares. See this lovely fun paper that was on the other side. I love that we get two sides to choose from. And then, just to be contrary to myself, sometimes I don't like that we get two sides to choose from because it's so hard. Okay, so now we're going to put this corner on the corner of the basic white, or the inside layer, whatever color you choose to have. Now it's not going to stretch all the way, but like I say, we don't need the card to lay flat anymore. There is going to be a little bit of space, but as we know, people don't open the card and force it to lie down. So we'll put this one in the corner, and this one in its corresponding corner, and then we can fold the pieces up. Oops, they do sometimes try and go in. I'm just going to make them fit into the outer edge, and then it will open up like a 3D surprise when your lucky recipient gets to open it. So there you have it, my lovelies, 2 cards the same. If you like what you've seen, please consider subscribing, ring the bell, you'll get a notification when I've posted videos. I've got quite a few more accordion ideas, so look out for those in the coming weeks. If you've got a question or a comment, pop those in the box below. I'm always interested to know what you think of the cards. And in the meantime, thanks for watching.